Hello friends, welcome to my channel as Tech Mantra, and today friends I am going to discuss with you a very important topic of SQL Server, that is constants. So what is the constants? Constants are set of rules for the data in the table which specify the limit of the data which is going into the table. So friends, we can say that constant, using constant we can define a set of rules for the data in that table. So whenever we will insert any data in that table, then we must follow the rule which we have already defined, just as constants. So what are the type of constants? So here I am going to discuss with you six type of constants. First one is primary key, second one is not null, third one is the unique key, fourth one is the default constant, fifth one is the foreign key, and sixth one is the check. So what is the primary key? Primary key field doesn't allow to store duplicate values in the column. So if we want to make any column unique, then in that case we can define the primary key constant for that column. It also restricts to enter any null value. We cannot insert any null value if we have defined the column as primary key. We can create a column or group of columns as a primary key. So we can define a individual column as a primary key, and we can also define a number of columns as a primary key. So here you can see that how can we create a table using constants. So first one is the primary key. So you can see here that the syntax of the table, it is create table tvl employee empid, it is the column name, integer, it is the data type, and not null, primary key. So here I have defined employee id column as a primary key. So moving to the next constant type, that is not null. So you can see here in second column emp name, I have defined the constant as not null. So not null constant is used when we want to restrict to enter null value in the field. The, this constant will not allow to enter any null value. So in trivial employee name must be there. So if I'm not going to allow enter null value, so in that case I have assigned here that emp name as not null. So we can use not null constants if we don't want to allow user to enter any null value. So third one is the unique constant. Unique constant behavior is like the primary key, but major difference is that it allows to store one null value in the column. We can also apply unique constant on one column or multiple columns. So you can see here that syntax constant const underscore employee, this is the constant name, and what is the const key, that is the unique key, and I have applied this on employee id plus employee name. So here combination of employee id plus employee name must be unique, so we can use here the unique constant. Next one is the default. So this constant is used when we want to assign some default value for the column in case user doesn't enter any value. In case user enter any value, then this value will not populate in that column. It means if user enter any value in the table, then that value will populate, will enter in the table whatever user has entered. But if user is not entering any value in that table, then in that case this default value will be entered automatically. So in that case we can use the default constant. Suppose in that TVL employee table I have a column joining date. So in joining date, if it will be not entered by the user, then it will take automatically get date. Get date means current date. So if user enter any date for the joining date column, then that value will be entered in that column. But if user is not entering any value for this column, then current date will be entered in the joining date column. So moving to the next constant type, that is a foreign key. Foreign key constant is used when we want to maintain parent-child relationship between the data. We can use this constant to restrict entry without having the master data. Suppose this is the table trivial employee. In trivial employee, I have employee ID column, employee name column, joining date column, and department ID column. In department ID column, I have used foreign key references. So suppose if you are going to enter any value for this employee, but that department ID is not exist in department table. So it will not allow you to enter that ID because that ID is not exist in our master data. So it will allow us to enter only those IDs which we have already exist in our master data, that is the department table. So here we are referring the table department table. So whatever department table have ID, we can insert only those ID in department ID column. So this is the use of the foreign key. So moving to the next constant type, that is the check. Check constant is used to validate the values of a column to verify the particular condition. Check constant is used to check the value entered by user. If condition becomes false, then it will not allow to enter the value. So in this table, TVL employee, as we are having multiple columns, employee ID, employee name, joining date, department ID, and age. So in age column, I have apply here the check constant. So check constant will check that the age of the employee must be greater than 17, or we can say that must be greater than 17 or equal to 18 or greater than 18. So it will check that the age of the employee is 18 or equal to 18, then it will allow to enter the age column. Otherwise it will not allow you to enter if the entry of age of that column value is 17 or less than 17. So we can validate the age of the employee by using the check constants. So friends, this is the constant. So friends, if you like my this session, then please subscribe this channel and also like and share this channel. Thank you very much for watching this session.